Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, back for another live show as per usual. A lot to discuss, the latest on Madueke, the latest on Mosquera. We have news on Reece Nelson probably heading back to Fulham, but is it going to be a permanent deal or is it going to be another loan deal? We'll also be talking about Noni. He's signing a new contract. Lewis Kelly and Noni both here to stay so happy. And then obviously the latest on Gyokeres and Eze. So let's get started with the latest on Madueke, and this is what Fabrizio's had to say today. Noni Madueke has signed his contract at Arsenal, valid until June 2030. Official announcement to follow next. So I still don't know whether Madueke is going to be part of the Asian tour because he was with Chelsea during the Club World Cup. So if he's going to be part of the Asian tour, then he will be announced tomorrow, Friday. If he's not going to be part of the Asian tour, then maybe they're going to wait over until the weekend or try to get Mosquera announced fast or try to get Gyokeres announced before Madueke, just because he's not going to be part of the Asian tour. But we're still not sure about that one. But he's passed his medical, he signed his contract. You already know it's 48 million plus 4 million in add-ons. So that is a total of 52 million. And he's passed his medical. He will be an Arsenal player. He's already an Arsenal player now. So we're waiting to see, the details of the rest of the deal, how much is going to be paid per week, obviously. Which position is going to play for us? Looking forward to seeing that. Is it just going to be a backup for Saka? Is he going to be playing on the left side? And obviously, we are waiting to see as well, which number is going to wear for Arsenal, all that, the jersey number and all that. So let's wait and see what happens. But that is what Fabrizio has given us today on Madueke. Everything is done with him. Now, Charles Watts has also had something to say about Noni Madueke. Maybe this gives us an idea of whether Noni Madueke is going to be just a backup for Saka, or is he going to actually be starting some games? Now, according to Charles Watts, I know Arsenal are very happy with the price they have paid for Noni Madueke. They believe it matches up well to what other players of Madueke's profile have moved for this summer. Those are players like Elanga. And adamant that in a couple of years' time, people will look on it as an excellent piece of business. Listen, if in the next 2 years, we are not talking about Madueke's 52 million, then it's done really well at Arsenal. So hopefully that is the case. Mikel Arteta has really been pushing this deal. He believes Madueke can thrive in an environment like Arsenal's and does not view him as a backup. So that is very interesting. That line there. Arteta does not view Madueke as a backup, highlighted right there. It does not seem as a backup. So is Madueke going to be starting games on the left side? I think we're probably going to see Madueke starting a few games on the left side, maybe sometimes starting ahead of Saka, so Saka gets a rest on the right side, or maybe even a different position. You never know. You could see Madueke all of a sudden in a 10 position for 1 or 2 games. You just never know. He's bringing him in to play a lot of games, whether that be on the right or on the left side. So that is according to Charles Watts. He says Madueke is not coming in as just a backup. So yeah, we paid 52 million. So that doesn't really sound as a backup, just a backup. For us Arsenal fans, we're not used to signing players for 50 million being backups. Man City do it all the time. Man City buy Grealish for 100 million. He never plays. He's always on the bench. They sign Nico Gonzalez for like 60 million. He never plays. He's on the bench. They signed Mamouche for like 60 million, Club World Cup. Most games he's on the bench. Man City do that. They sign players for that money and they put them on the bench. For us, we've never really signed a player for 50 million and put them on the bench. So again, it's going to be very interesting if we end up signing Eze, who's going to be starting on the left side. So that's why I really do think Trossard or Martinelli, one of them, is going to leave. And I also feel like Rodrygo is not possible, because if Madueke is not seen as a backup, that means he's going to be starting some games on the left side. So I can't see us also keeping Martinelli, keeping Trossard, and also signing Rodrygo and all these other players, unless they really want to surprise me, unless they've really, been affected by what happened last season with all the injuries and they just want to have a lot of players in all of those positions. Let's wait and see. But Madueke is not going to be a backup. But before Madueke arrives at Arsenal, he's probably going to go on holiday because he just played the Club World Cup. So as of now, the preseason is going to be interesting to see who's going to be playing on that left side, and the beginning of the season as well, how we're going to, play if Madueke is not yet ready at that point, or if any other signing is not ready at that point. Let's wait and see. But again, obviously you have to perform. If Madueke comes in and plays poorly the first 3 games, I wouldn't expect him to just keep on playing. Hopefully not. If a player doesn't play well, we don't just keep on starting them. Next season, if Odegaard doesn't play well, you don't keep on playing him. So next season we cannot just let players play even if they're not playing well. So let's see how it goes. Madueke is an Arsenal player. He's not going to be a backup according to Charles Watts, so let's see how it goes. Next up, Mosquera. So Fabrizio reported this last night. Arsenal and Valencia have also exchanged documents for Cristhian Mosquera deal, 15 million euros plus add-ons, total fee under 20 million euros, and long-term deal for Mosquera medical booked on Wednesday. So that is today. He's already undergone his medical. I don't know if it's one part or two parts, or the same day or different days. But Mosquera, I would expect Mosquera to be announced before Friday. So Arsenal is playing a game on Saturday against Watford behind closed doors, and the team is leaving on Saturday to head to Singapore. So I would expect Mosquera to be announced by that point. Could it be tomorrow or Friday? Let's wait and see. One of those days, Mosquera will be announced. For Madueke, I'm not sure because he just played the Club World Cup. I'm not sure when it's going to be announced. Who's going to be announced first between the two of them? I'm not sure it's going to be announced first, but I'm sure Mosquera will definitely be announced this week. So the deal, very, very cheap, very good deal. This guy also really wanted to join Arsenal like Gyokeres, and we've paid 15 million euros plus add-ons, total fee under 20 million euros. As we discussed, I think it was on Monday, the Valencia coach is not happy that Mosquera was going to be let go of that for that fee. And Arsenal were ready to wait for him next season to get him on a free, but Valencia panicked and they're like, okay, we're just going to give him for 15 million plus some add-ons. And that is in euros. So that is around maybe 13 million pounds plus a few add-ons, so maybe a total of 15 million pounds in total. So that is a very good price for a 21-year-old defender who's going to come and be a very, very good backup for Saliba and Gabriel under them as well, and also he's already an international player playing for the under-21s for Spain. So exciting deal, and you can finally have a defender we can turn to on the bench, and you don't have to play Saliba and Gabriel every single day. So that is great. So I'm very soon it's welcome to Arsenal, Mosquera, and Madueke. Let's see how it goes. Those are 2 done deals already for this week. On Monday, I said you're going to get 4 deals done this week. So those are 2 done. Now, next up, Eze. Sky Sports have had this to say about Eze. Eze is a primary target for Arsenal this summer. Arsenal know they can speak to Eze if they meet the release clause. Arsenal are understood to be encouraged by Eze being open to the move. So again, just like the Gyokeres one, I feel like if Gyokeres was not pushing for that move that much, we would still have been talking about Gyokeres today, about, are we going to get Gyokeres or Sesko if Gyokeres was not pushing for that move. The fact that he pushed for that move and, obviously he paid his own money and his agent paid his own money, that has really, obviously helped us in terms of pushing for the deal too, and basically making up our mind that we're going to get Gyokeres. Now, Mosquera has also done the same. Maybe Mosquera would have waited for August to try and get him, and we were also happy to wait until next year to get him. But because Mosquera was pushing for the move and he rejected the new contract, we pushed for him right now and got it done. What about Eze? Is it going to be the same with Eze? Now, we've been told that Arsenal do not want to pay the 68 million pounds upfront, the release clause. If you go to Crystal Palace today, you pay the 68 million, you get Eze today. But Arsenal don't feel like it's worth giving him that money right now, or worth paying that release clause entirely. Arsenal are trying to get it done in installments or add a player to the deal. Josh Nichols was mentioned. A few fans said, give them Fabio Zinchenko, depending if they want him. So as I do believe he also wants to join Arsenal. We've already been told that he has agreed to join Arsenal, but we are probably not going to be the only team that is going to want him. So this one I expect it to keep on going and up until next week, and then hopefully next week we hear some sort of breakthrough in the Eze deal, hopefully, because we also told that we might have to sell players fast before going for Eze. So let's hope that one develops as quickly as possible, because if you get Gyokeres and you get Eze, that would be fantastic. Now, the dream was to have both of those players in before the AC Milan game, but that is not going to be the case. I mean, if they surprise us and they get Eze over the weekend before the trip, I'd be very surprised, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have Gyokeres for the AC Milan and Newcastle games, but I don't think you're going to have Eze. Maybe Eze is a deal that can happen at the end of the month or something. Let's see how it goes. I think I saw him in training today with Crystal Palace as well. I think he's back today or something. So yeah, that is what Sky Sports have had to report today. Now, Gyokeres. Now, what are the add-ons that Sporting are talking about, and why is it delaying even more? Now, this is what Record Portugal says. the add-ons, the 10 million add-ons that Sporting want from Arsenal, this is what it involves. The first set of 20 games, 2.5 million euros. So the moment Gyokeres plays 20 games for Arsenal, we give them 2.5 million euros. So that is definitely going to happen. So that is what they mean by guaranteed add-ons. Gyokeres is definitely going to play 20 games for Arsenal. So they're going to definitely get that 2.5 million. Second set of 20 games, another 20 games, 2.5 million. So will Gyokeres play 40 games for Arsenal in a season? Probably he's going to do that. If he stays fit like he was fit at Sporting, then he does that even before match. So they're going to get an extra 2.5 million euros. Champions League qualification. Do we expect Arsenal to qualify for Champions League? Yes. So that is already another guaranteed 2.5 million euros. And then lastly, 20 games in second season. Once again, next season again, he plays another 20 games, probably is going to do that. They're going to get an extra 2.5 million euros. So that is according to Record Portugal. They say that this is what Sporting want in terms of add-ons. So as you can see, all 4 of those add-ons, those ones are basically guaranteed. Like the chances of those ones not happening are very low. Now, Arsenal probably did not want to have all 4 of those there. Maybe Arsenal wanted to include, if we win a Premier League title, we are going to give you an extra 2.5 million euros. If we get to the Champions League final, we are going to give you an extra 2.5 million euros. But Sporting were like, nope, we don't think you're going to get to the Champions League final. We don't think you're going to win a league title. We want this 4, and maybe this is what is delaying it at the moment, because Arsenal are like, nah, these add-ons do not make sense. These ones are too easy. You might as well just give them the 10 million right now, because all of this will happen. You might as well just give them the 10 million right now. So that is what they mean by guaranteed. Now, if you compare to what we usually do with our players, we sent Ramsdale to Southampton and we say they're going to give us add-ons if you stay up. Obviously, Southampton are never going to stay up in the Premier League. The chances of that happening whenever there, so we're never going to get that extra money for Ramsdale. So yeah, so this is what is going to delay it once again. We are going to negotiate this again. I think if they just stay strong and they don't move from this, I guess Arsenal will just accept it, because one of them is next season and the Champions League qualification is at the end of the season. But yeah, these ones are basically guaranteed. So even if you give them 60 million upfront and then they want this in add-ons, you're basically paying them 70 million, because this will happen. Gyokeres will definitely play 20 games and then another 20 games and then another 20 games next season. He'll definitely do that. So I don't know if this changed, because we were told that the moment they got to England, the agent to Gyokeres, we were told that Sporting called once again and they're like, you know what, you're going to change a few things about the add-ons. So yeah, that is a problem. Or maybe they added another part of the add-on. So all those are guaranteed. All those they're definitely going to get. So that is how people negotiate in add-ons. People usually also include stuff like, if Gyokeres scores maybe 20 goals, you're going to give an extra 2.5 million. Stuff like that, so that you feel like the player has been worth it for you, not just playing the games, but actually delivering for you. So it would be better if you say, if you win the Premier League title and Gyokeres scores 20 plus goals, we're going to give you an extra 5 million euros. Now, Arsenal can also decide to increase those add-ons and make it more complicated add-ons. We can say, okay, instead of giving you this 10 million euros for those add-ons, we will give you 15 million euros add-ons if we win the league title. So that could be more worth it for Arsenal than just Gyokeres appearing in the games. Maybe we get money when we win the Premier League title and we feel like the deal was worth it. But yeah, Sporting is not an easy team to negotiate with. Very, very difficult team to negotiate with. So let's hope it gets finalized. Now, it's definitely going to get finalized. I don't think Arsenal are going to let it go after the agent has already given up his money and the player's already given up his money. It would be absolutely criminal when an agent is actually paying money for you, then you leave the player. That doesn't happen at all. So I'm sure it's still going to get Gyokeres, but it's going to be still a bit painful and a bit overweight once again. So let's see how it goes. That's according to Record Portugal. Next up, Ethan Nwaneri has reached an agreement with Arsenal to sign a new contract. Big news for us. We needed to keep this player. Arsenal have reached an agreement in principle with Ethan Nwaneri of a new deal after progress in talks reported last weekend. Nwaneri and his camp have now agreed to sign new contract at the club. Ethan always gave priority to Arsenal despite interest from several clubs. Now, for Nwaneri, never thought he would leave Arsenal, to be honest. It would have been criminal for Noni to leave Arsenal. Surely, as I said 2 weeks ago, surely the Arsenal board know what they're doing. They're not going to let Noni go. There's no chance they're going to let Noni go, and there's no chance they would let him go to Chelsea, let alone leave Arsenal, but to go to Chelsea would be criminal. So he was never involved in the Madueke deal. Chelsea are the ones who tried to involve Noni in the Madueke deal. They were like, you know what, give us we'll give you Madueke, but we're also interested in getting Noni. And the problem with Chelsea, would go to Chelsea and he wouldn't even play, just like Hutchinson. So it is not worth it at all. I'm so happy he's signing a new contract. He's been promised a midfield role, so he's been told he's going to play more centrally. So is he going to be as the backup for Odegaard? Is he going to be as the number 8 sometimes? Going to be interesting to see where he plays. So hopefully he does get all the cup competitions to begin with, Odegaard rests in those ones. And the other thing, I think Noni played a lot of games last season, as I said yesterday, but the only thing I want to change is maybe, instead of bringing him on in the 85th minute, bring him on the 65th minute, give him 25 minutes, let's see how it does. Sometimes bring him on at halftime and let's see how it does. Give him ample time to prove himself, because he's already actually proven himself. He's a very, very good player. So let's see what happens with Noni next season. He's going to sign a new contract. Both him and Lewis Kelly have signed a new contract this season. Absolutely fantastic. I think Sammy Mokbel had something to say about Noni as well. Yeah, he said Ethan Noni said to sign what is expected to be an initial 4-year contract, and then he changed that to understand agreement is now set to be over 5 years, and clear if it's 4 years plus an optional year, additional year, but total contract length is 5 years. So that is absolutely fantastic. Noni should be here for the next 5 years, just like Lewis Kelly. These are generational talents. You cannot let them go. I still remember one of the comments when we did a live show 3 weeks ago, and someone said, give Real Madrid Lewis Kelly and they give us Rodrygo, give them Noni, they give us Rodrygo. Nah, players like Noni and Lewis Kelly don't involve in those kind of conversations, man. These are Helen boys, and we're basically getting them for free, and they've already proven to us how good they are in every single competition against every single team at 17, 18 years of age. Imagine Noni at 21, how good he will be. So happy that Noni is signing a new contract. At least we can now finally stop thinking about that. Now, Reiss Nelson, we've been told that Arsenal are looking to gather some money fast before going for players like Eze. But the problem has always been, are we going to get the money for these players? That has always been my worry. There's maybe a team that will say they want Fabio Vieira, but are they willing to pay 30 million for him? Probably not. How much can we sell Lokonga today? We haven't had anyone wanting Lokonga up to now. The last time Lokonga was in the Premier League, he sent him to Luton. Luton are not going to give us 30 million for Lokonga, so that is not going to happen. Probably Sevilla as well not going to give us that. So you're looking to maybe get 10 million or 50 million for players like that. How much are we going to... For Zinchenko, I'm hoping we can get good enough money. If we sell Trossard or Martinelli, let's hope we can get good enough money. But for players like Nelson, I'm worried you're not going to get any kind of money for them. Now, this is what Sammy Mokbel has had to say. Arsenal receive approach from Fulham over re-signing Reiss Nelson. Structure of the deal still to be finalized, but talks ongoing of a potential loan. We should be selling Nelson. We should not be loaning him out. That is just the truth. But the problem is, if Fulham do not want to buy him, there's nothing you can do. You can add an obligation to buy there, so that they have to buy him next season. But, he was injured almost the entirety of last season. So is it worth it for Fulham to pay money for him? Now, and we actually have a good relationship with Fulham, Players like Len have gone there. Players like Smith Rowe have gone there. Willian has moved there. Nelson, we should be selling. Nelson should not be an Arsenal player right now. That's just the honest truth. We should have sold him already last season. But if there's no team to buy him, that is problematic. And I don't think there's anything that is going to come and pay 20 million for Nelson. That is just a problem. So Sammy Mokbel said the structure of the deal, which is likely to be a loan, is still to be finalized. Arsenal leave for pre-season tour on Saturday, and with Nelson available to leave this summer, there could be a benefit in concluding any transfer before then. So they're not really trying to take Nelson over to Asia. The Gunners Academy graduate Nelson spent last season on loan at Craven Cottage, making 13 appearances. So he only played 13 games last season, and the Marco Silva before his season was cut short by injury. So again, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be another player that you're going to struggle to sell, because over the last couple of years, he hasn't really been playing. He's had injuries, and we're not going to hear that Bayern Munich want Nelson or Barcelona want Nelson. Unfortunately, it's going to be teams like Fulham and West Ham and Burnley that are going to want Nelson. So Question for you guys. How much money do you think we should be asking for Nelson? Because when you start saying 25 million, there's no one who's going to pay us that. I'm 100% sure we're going to have to keep him at us if you're asking for 25 million. The only way is we actually send him on that loan, and then we hope that he actually plays well for Fulham next season, and then we sell him. So let me see. Nelson contract expiry. His contract is expiring next year. What? If we send him on loan, then we're going to lose him for free next season, unless it's a 6-month loan or something. Unless we're going to give him an extra year. So the other thing is you can give him an extra year right now. You can give him a 1-year contract and then he goes on loan and then maybe you sell him next season if he plays well for Fulham. But Nelson's contract is expiring next year. So if he moves on loan and you don't give him a new contract, you're going to lose him for free next year. So again, that is where I'm going to look at Andrea Berta and tell him, hey, let's see how we do, because this is how we usually lose our players every single year. Let's hope it's not the same this time around. But yeah, there's players we've really struggled to sell, man, over the years. We were actually, good thing we managed to get some money for players like Nketiah and Smith Rowe, but for players like Maitland-Niles, you saw how much we struggled to get any kind of money for them. At least we got money for Willock, but for Nelson, I don't know, man. I mean, unless there's some of you would keep Nelson, for me, no, I don't think we should be going backwards, but yeah, that is a problem. They're only offering a loan deal, and there's no team up to now that wants to actually buy him, so that is a bit of a problem. Nelson is worth 16 million euros, says Philip. I would like to think so as well. Maybe we can't put an obligation to buy there because his contract is expiring next year. So very interesting to see what Arsenal are going to do about that one. Or maybe Arsenal do not even rate him at all and they just want him to leave. You just never know. So that can also be the case. 10 million, says Tommy. We should definitely be getting more than that, but I don't think we're going to. Again, we need to find a way to be good at selling, because again, if this was Chelsea, they would be selling Nelson for 30 million. Sell for 10 million, says Sampa. Yeah, I think we're going to end up getting something like that. And Reiss Nelson is very young still, right? And how old is he right now? He's 25. We're going to lose him for free next year. Let's see. I think we're going to give him a new contract, maybe a 1 year, and then we're going to gamble and see how he does on the loan spell, during the loan spell, and then maybe sell him for 10, 15 million next year. But it's not guaranteed, man. It's not looking good in terms of selling the players, Fabio Vieira's and Reiss Nelson's at the moment. So yeah, let's hope we can do some magic there. We can see some magic from our new sporting director. ISO says Gyokeres has taken ages. Yep, I've just told you why. What is on screen right now, Sporting's add-ons and Arsenal add-ons are not agreeing. That the both parties are not agreeing with each other. How are you doing, Ike? Nice seeing you as always. Definitely has, but we're finally getting him now. Once medical is booked, is pretty much confirmed. We are going to get Gyokeres. I'm sure he's going to be part of the Asian tour, but obviously we wanted him as early as possible. But yeah, it didn't happen. Sporting are not easy to negotiate with. Hello, Glenn. We need here we go for Gyokeres, says Emma. And good evening to you, Godfrey. How are you, Boniface? About Ezedil, we've talked about it. Gilbert. Is Gyokeres doing his medical this Friday? That is what the reports say. Ed. I would be happy with Ez as the left wing and Xavi Simons in the 10. Says Mogi. So Xavi Simons as a backup for Odegaard, or what do you mean? So I don't think you're going to get both Ez and Xavi Simons. That is not. I don't think that is possible. It would have been possible maybe if they didn't go for Madueke, but 3-4 together, Gyokeres, Ez, Xavi Simons, Madueke. I don't think it's going to be possible. It's going to be 3, unless we go for a winger who's going to be like 10 million, 15 million or something, or maybe bring back Nelson. Who knows? Let's see. I think Madueke is okay, but 52 million pounds is too much, says Richard. He's okay, I agree. 52 million is too much, I agree. But yeah, so as they've said, the kind of players that have moved on to other teams, similar players like Elanga, have gone for that same price as well. And Arsenal thought that, hey, Madueke is the same as Elanga, so if Newcastle paid 50 million for Elanga, we're also going to pay 50 million for Madueke. And Hutchinson, the guy that we let go to Chelsea, Omari Hutchinson, and Chelsea sent him to Ipswich. I think he's being bought for like 35 million. I think Brentford are buying him for 35 million. So when you look at that, Hutchinson hasn't really been great the last 2 years, and people are selling him for 35 million. Then Chelsea can easily say, see, Madueke scored more than 10 goals last season, so that is 50 million. So that is where, for us as well, what we can do is to be that strict with our players as well. If you want Kivio is a player who marked out Mbappe from a game, we want 55 million, and no joking around. We also need to do that as well. Any players who've been at Arsenal you want, Martinelli, he's one of the record top scorers in terms of Brazilians in the Premier League. We want 70 million. That's what we need to do with our players as well. Everyone else is doing that with their players. If you ask for Xavi Simons right now, as Morgia said, Leipzig will tell us 70 million for him. Please, all we want is to get that striker signing fast. I'm afraid we may not get him. Nah, we're going to get him. Samson, it's too far for us not to get him. As I said, people have already given up their money for us to get him. So it's too far for us not to get. I think eventually, if Sporting don't move, us are just going to accept it, or they're going to accept like maybe 3 out of the 4 of those add-ons on screen. Mubarak says, Mr. Glenn Biggers, well, I'm so thrilled Gyokeres is giving green light to Arsenal. Thanks, Andrea. And that would be big for us, man. I cannot wait. Good afternoon. I need Eze, but I don't need Rodrygo, says Ahmed. I don't think you're going to get Rodrygo. If it can happen, then that would be very new. That would not be Arsenal. That would be more than 300 million spent if you get him as well. Unless they manage to pull the Eze deal with installments and the finances are looking good, then let's see. I'm not crazy on the Rodrygo for real. I've had a few people saying that as well. They don't really want Rodrygo, they want other wingers. And by the way, Lookman has gone now, so we can stop talking about Lookman. Lookman is going to Inter Milan. He's going for, is it like 34 million pounds? I would have loved Lookman for 34 million pounds. I would have loved Lookman. I mean, people are also laughing at Man United because they're like, why are you going for Mbeumo for 80 million and you can get Lookman for 40? Okay. I don't speak that language, but I can recognize that name, Limper. I hear that Chelsea preparing to hijack as a deal. What can you say on this situation? No, if it's Arsenal between, if they go and pay the release clause, then yeah, they can hijack it because Arsenal do not want to pay that 68 million. But if it's in terms of, Arsenal and Chelsea are ready to pay almost the same, I am not worried about Chelsea. We can get the player for sure. We've beaten Real Madrid and Man City to players. So the only way Chelsea can beat us is if they just go and pay the money right away. So that's it. But Chelsea have so many players in those positions. What are you going to do there anyway? Like Palmer plays as a midfielder there. Enzo these days plays farther forward. So I don't know what you'd be going to do there. But yeah, Chelsea usually just sign players for the sake of it. Gyokeres in, says Philip. Not yet. Wasi says yes. Adam says yes. Plays we want him, says Akinyemi. We've talked about Eze, Mr. Research. The long wait is depressing us a lot. How I wish the board just paid this stubborn president his requirement. So it's an ego thing, Timothy. Arsenal are just going to pay. Andrea Bartel also does not want to look like what's the word? Basically, no one wants to kill their ego that much that, yeah, okay, fine, we're just going to pay you what you want. That will kill your ego completely in the transfer market. So Arsenal wants to say, now we're not paying you, we're not paying you. And the president says, now we are not accepting this, we're not accepting this. So it's a tug of war until until the first person to play chicken or to be the chicken. That's when it's going to end. But they're not going to just go and pay the man. That never usually happens. It rarely happens. It's an ego thing as well. Let's include him in a deal with Crystal Palace in exchange for Eze. You're talking about Nelson, Josh, I guess. Nelson is worth 16 million euros. What's the latest on Gyokeres? Talks about him. Good afternoon, Glenn, says Almans. We need to push for Eze now because Gyokeres deal will be official Friday when he'll be in London for medical and sign his contract. Hopefully that is the case. With the greatest conviction that this coming season after we'll win a major trophy. It feels like we have to, Gabriel. It feels like we really have to. Alex says, good afternoon, guys. Why is it that Arsenal are not good in selling players? It's problematic, and it's been like that for years. Like in our history, we've never sold anyone for more than 35 million. History since the 1800s. we've never been able to sell anyone for more than that. And remember, this is an Arsenal team that has had Alexis Sanchez, Van Persie, Thierry Henry, all these players. We've never been able to sell anyone for more than 35 million. So yeah, that is definitely something that I'm hoping Andrea Bata can change for us. We never even end up selling them. We lose them for free, let alone even getting 10 million. We lose all these players for free. Let's see, how is Arsenal the first getting to the meeting and the last to leave the meeting but coming home disappointing all the fans? We badly need a clinical forward. Yep. Hi Glenn, good evening. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Musa, how about the deal of El Canus? That one went quiet. We only heard about it once at the beginning of the transfer window. But if you go for players like Eze, you're not also going to go for El Canus. But if you don't get Eze, then maybe you can go back for players like El Canus. What's the shirt number for Madueke? Not confirmed yet. There's a few numbers available now, number 5, number 10, number 14. So let's see. I hope all is well. Yeah, all is well, Musa. Around this time every single day, Steve. I prefer Arsenal to go for Rafael Leao versus Milan. That one is still available, so let's see what's going on now about the Gyokeres medical. You were told Friday. Let us go for Eze and Simmons. Forget about Rodrygo, and they want 100 million, so that is difficult. Honestly, since I'm supporting Arsenal football every season, Arsenal have not made me happy. Like this one, by this time they buy like 4 or 5, but now I'm happy by their business. Okay, so John is saying the previous seasons Arsenal has not made him happy as they have this season. We never signed this many players, so that will be very interesting to see how many players we sign this transfer window. That is it. That's the word that I was also looking for, Tommy. It's a game of who blinks fast. Bat is not going to blink fast, so there's too much pride there. There's no one who's going to say, let's just pay whatever you want. That's not the case. I mean, if it wasn't for the agent paying his own money, you would still have been talking about whether Gyokeres is joining Arsenal or not up until now. And Douglas says, good afternoon, watching you from Nigeria. Love the way our transfer window is moving this season. Yep, Douglas, better than the previous ones for sure. I've just joined how for the Gyokeres situation. Still discussing the add-on. Simon, how are you doing, Moses? We need Eze after the Gyokeres deal. That's the one that you're going to go for, according to most journalists. It is really that Gyokeres will. That is what the reports are saying. And Steve, please update us on the confirmed deals for Arsenal so far. There's a full video on that, Wilson. If you just check the pinned, you're watching on Facebook, the pinned post at the top. If you go on Everything Arsenal TV, the top one, I did a whole 20-minute video discussing all done deals. We cannot go through one by one. It's like 15 of them. If you include the players leaving like Party, it's like 15 of them. So just check out that video. It's called All Done Deals. Good afternoon. Who is coming next, please? Probably Eze, because I don't think we've been linked to any other players after Mosquera, Madueke, and Gyokeres. So let's see. Badman says, I'm so speechless. When Gyokeres signs and Eze signs, then I'll be very speechless as well. Yes, Gyokeres will be bought. I'm not even worried about Gyokeres. For me, I'm thinking about Eze already. I'm thinking about how quickly can we get Eze? In my head, Gyokeres already signed for Arsenal a long time ago. For me, I'm already looking forward to seeing Gyokeres' first goal for Arsenal. That is why my mind is at the moment. So not too worried about the Gyokeres one at the moment. It's going to be done. Probably this week, Tom, because the Arsenal is leaving on Saturday to go to the Asian tour for the Asian tour. So it has to be done then, because we were told that Arteta wants the deal done before preseason. So he wants the player to be there on that plane heading to Singapore. So yeah, will we see him making his debut against AC Milan on Wednesday? Probably not. We might have to wait until the Newcastle game to see Gyokeres playing for the first time for Arsenal. Thank you for watching, Emmanuel from Liberia. Appreciate it. Missed a couple. I would just say is as an Arsenal fan, if 52 million can be spent on Madueke sending 68 million and Eze shouldn't be dragged. So that is what us fans think. But for the board sitting down and discussing, maybe they do think Madueke is 52 million, but they don't think Eze is 68 million. So it depends on who's working on the deal. So for them, they don't feel like that is the case. They feel like Gyokeres is 60 million and Madueke is 52 million. Whether it's because of age, or it's because of Premier League experience, or it's because of all that, I think they look at all that. So we might say, why are we paying 52 million for Madueke and not 70 million for Gyokeres? But for them, they feel because Gyokeres is 27 and Madueke is younger than that, Madueke is worth 52 million, and as they've said, he's similar to players like Elanga. Maybe they do feel like it's 52 million. For me, Madueke is like a 35 million pound player. But yeah, I guess all those things about him being an England international, and we've always talked about England players being overrated in terms of price. Maybe that is true in this aspect as well. But if England players are overrated, we should also be selling Nelson for 40 million. But Nelson doesn't play for England, though. I'm watching you live from UK side. Tayo, thank you for watching. Can we be able to make an attempt for Isaac? Thank you for bringing this up. I'd forgotten about Isaac Cho. So for me, last season, I wanted Gyokeres ahead of Isaac anyway. That was my option ahead of Isaac last season. When you're being linked to the two players, I wanted Gyokeres ahead of Isaac. Now, since then, Gyokeres has scored even more goals. Isaac was very good last season. But if you're to ask me right now, Gyokeres is 60 million and Isaac is 120 million. I don't even think it's something we should be discussing. Gyokeres for 60 million, Isaac for 120 million. Are you guys telling me you would be happy to pay double for Gyokeres to get Isaac? For me, no chance. No chance I'll be paying 120 million for. If they were similar, or maybe Isaac was like 78 million, I'd still go for Gyokeres because I prefer Gyokeres for the last 2 years. Again, I don't care. There's been scoring those goals in Portugal or Rwanda or Sierra Leone or China. He's still a very good player who knows the net, where the net is. So again, also if you look at things like injury records and all that, and how many games Gyokeres has been playing, how old is Isaac right now? Isaac is a very, very good striker. I would have loved him at Arsenal for sure. How old is Isaac right now? 25, so like 2 years younger than Gyokeres. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. I don't even think we should be considering it. Gyokeres for 60 million, Isaac for 120. That 120 can get you both Gyokeres and Eze. I rather get Gyokeres and Eze than getting just Isaac. I actually rather get Gyokeres and Zubimendi than getting just Isaac. I also rather get Gyokeres and Nørgaard and Kepa and someone else for that money than getting just one player. We're also not just struggling in terms of quality. Striker, yes, we struggle in terms of quality, but also quantity. We did not have enough players. So if you buy Isaac for 120 million, you're not going to sign anyone else. You forget about Eze, forget all of those other players as well. So yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. Good evening, Glenn. Let's face Eze's deal with those that are already in, possibly a left winger. Let's face. That is from Suleiman. Rodrygo is better than Eze, so let's go for Rodrygo. In terms of that, if you're to ask me who would get today, Eze or Rodrygo, would get Eze. Again, also price. Eze is, we're talking about 60 million, talking about 100 million for Rodrygo. Now, I wanted us to get a striker and a left winger first, but Eze, the fact that he's also very, 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 very Premier League experienced and his numbers are very good. He gets double figures in terms of goals and assists. We were told, though, it's not related. It's not supposed to be related between Eze and Rodrygo. It should be both of them if it was possible. But yeah, if it was asked me what my last signing would be between the two, I would get Eze. How are you, Delton? Watching live from Kenya. For me, I think Gyokeres is better than Isaac. Isaac has the Premier League experience, obviously, but I've always wanted Gyokeres since last season. So if he's going to Liverpool, well and good. Let's get our strikers and let's sort out our team. We just need to play our games. Just win your games. If we can't control what Liverpool and Man City are doing, just the 2 games that we play against them, just make sure you don't lose. And then the others, we just need to win our games. If Liverpool can beat West Ham at home, also make sure you can beat West Ham at home. If Liverpool are going to win at Fulham, make sure you also go and win away at Fulham. So you just need to win our games. We have a better defense than Liverpool. They've had a better forward than ours, so they're going to improve their forward. Let's also improve our forwards. Let's get Gyokeres, let's get Eze and all that, and let's see. Eze for me, says Solomon. When we getting that here, we go for Gyokeres. Fabrizio has been. They've also been stressing Fabrizio, man. Like he's been waiting like for 5 days right now to give that. Here we go. Probably when they agree on these add-ons, that's when it's going to be announced. After getting Eze, Battle will be going for Lookman. Lookman is already gone. Lookman has already joined Inter Milan. Even Leao as well. I'm sure in the next 1 week, Leao will be done, either signing a new contract or going to a different team. To be honest, I've never seen a club president like this. Sporting CP1 says Musa. Watching live from Uganda says Simon. Thank you for watching. Me, I go for Eze. because of Premier League experience, and not just even just Premier League experience. His numbers are very, very good. Let me just show you here. In terms of his numbers, he never gets anything below 10 in goals and assists, so that is already very, very good. Eberechi Eze. Let's do this. Last season was 20. No, I don't want to cookies. I don't want to allow cookies. Current season, all seasons. Let's go to all seasons. And then let's go to 2024, 2025. If you can check out Eze's numbers. So Eze's numbers, let me just bring them up. Let's do this, and then let's do this. Okay, so if you see Eze, 43 games last season, 14 goals, 11 assists. Those are very good numbers. Very, very good numbers. 25 goal returns in 43 games, 3,000 minutes. Those are very good returns, and it's only 3 competitions. And he's also a player who sometimes gets subbed off. Sometimes he's had a couple of injuries, so he never really plays every single game. But if Eze can come and play 43 games for us, I'll be very, very happy with that. If you check the previous season before that one, let's go 23-24. The previous season before that, he had 11 goals, 6 assists, so 17 goal returns in 31 games. Still very, very good because he played almost 1,000 minutes less than what he did last season. Again, if you go to the previous season, the 22-23 one, once again, his numbers are very good. 10 goals, 4 assists, and all these positions that he can play: left wing, attacking midfielder, central midfielder. For me, I would definitely take Eze for sure. I think he would, even things like transitions and things like that, he would improve our team right away, Eze. Right away. Those counter-attacks and those through passes to Gyokeres, I'm just imagining them, it would be absolutely fantastic. So for a player to get like 34 goals and around is it like 30 assists in the last 3 seasons? That is very, very good. For a player who doesn't even usually play every single game, I think that is very good. Mizerko is doing his medical this Friday. That is what the reports are saying. Ed, how many new players we have? How many new players do we have today? Just do you mean like how many new players have we signed? If you mean how many players have we signed, then Kepa, Zubimendi, Nørgaard, Madueke, Mosquera, those are 5, and then Gyokeres will be the 6th one, and then after that we're looking to get Eze, and we were told we might even go for a left back, so it could be 8 total signings. Nelson and Kiwi send it to Crystal Palace and collect Eze. Are you talking about Kivio? Again, no. Kivio should not be on that list. Kivio, for me, is a 50 million pound player. So if you're sending Kivio there and getting Eze, you're only giving them like 10 million, and they're not going to accept that. So yeah, Kivio, we should not be throwing our players like this. That is what you're talking about, Hamid. We should not be just throwing our players like this. Kivio is a player who starts every single game for Poland, man. You're not just going to give him away like that. What about Xavi Simons? Leipzig are willing to sell at around 60 million euros. If you can't get Rodrygo, let's try Simons. If you can't get Rodrygo, no problem with trying Xavi Simons. That is fine. Although I would have preferred going for players like Lookman. Now, since we didn't go for a player like Lookman, that makes me think that we are not going to go for a player like Rodrygo. Now, unfortunately, Delta, what I think is going to happen, I think Madueke is the signing that we've gotten Madueke, and we're going to get Rodrygo, Xavi Simons. That is what I think is going to happen now. Madueke is going to start a few games on the left side. If Eze joins, he's also going to play there sometimes, and then we keep one of Martinelli and Trossard, and one of them plays on the left side. So that is what I think is going to happen. I don't think we're also going to go for a winger. I prefer Eze than Rodrygo, says Emmanuel. How many signings will Arsenal get? Probably 7 or 8. Let me take one more. Eze will complement Arsenal's squad than Rodrygo. I actually do agree with that, Prince, in terms of the various positions he can play. Rodrygo is a very good player. I mean, I would take both of them today if it was possible. But Eze would just like boost our team so well, man. And having Gyokeres running in behind those passes, Gyokeres will be so happy when he joins Arsenal, man. Those passes from Sak and Odegaard and potentially Eze, you're going to get chances. Your chances will not be a problem at Arsenal. You're going to get chances. And Zubimendi as well with the long passes. I prefer Eze. I mean, Kenya says Mixon. Yeah, I prefer Eze as well. If you just between the two, I'd prefer Eze as well. And he's also cheaper. So that is what I would that I would go for. Rodrygo is not a must to get him if you get Eze ready to go. Someone also commented yesterday and said if Rodrygo stays at Real Madrid, maybe we can try next season. That is also true. If he stays at Real Madrid, maybe that is something to plan for next season. This season, Trossard or Martinelli, one of them might go, one of them might stay. Next season, the other one might go, the one who stays. So maybe next season, you try again for Rodrygo, if he stays at Real Madrid, if it's possible. I know we wanted everything this season, but it's not going to happen everything this season, obviously. I would like it to, though. Watching you from Sierra Leone says, Mohamed, I prefer Eze. So many of you prefer Eze. Again, I would take Rodrygo if it was possible, but money, Premier League experience, and I just prefer Eze because of the different roles he can play and the kind of impact he'd have in our team. It'd also allow us to sometimes rest Odegaard. Him and Noni can play there. We can have both Eze and Odegaard in those games where I struggle to break down teams. Also seeing people commenting and saying maybe if you have Gyokeres and players like Eze there, maybe Martinelli becomes better. Maybe those crosses Martinelli puts into the box, Gyokeres ends up scoring them. He knows how to time those crosses and all that. Maybe if Gyokeres is there, Martinelli gets 10 assists in a season. Maybe, you never know. So let's see who's going to stay, who's going to leave. That is all the drama that is going on today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.